NERDSoul.
Woo! Late okay at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of NERDSoul Gaming, and we are continuing the superpowered list from my man Randy on Twitter. You can check that link, of course, down below. And today we're going to be talking about Black Panther versus Luke Cage versus Static versus Green Lantern, and who do we keep? You know, who lasts? Who wins? Who who takes the cake? Sadly, I gotta say that I think easily, Luke Cage takes your boy. I know people are going to be mad about this. I think, people are not going to like this. All right, it's not my fault, y'all. All right, it's not my fault. I think that Luke Cage takes Static. Static's a kid, and I think he might be out of his league just dealing with, someone of the caliber of a Luke Cage. Luke Cage has been in the game. He's had his fisticuffs and all that. I don't see Static being able to handle him. But with that said, I don't think that Luke Cage is a match at all for Jon Stewart. So easily, I think that Jon Stewart takes your boy Luke Cage super duper well. Not even really. It ain't even a question on this one. I think Jon Stewart easily handles Luke Cage. Way too many weapons. The limit of the imagination. I just think it's too easy for him. And I think the fight is extremely short. Now you get in the realm of some interesting matchup with, of course, T'Challa and Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart and T'Challa, I think, is a very interesting matchup, considering, how well prepared we've seen your boy T'Challa be, and I think we've seen T'Challa be way more prepared for situations in general than we've seen your boy Jon Stewart. So much so that I would say that Jon Stewart coming up against someone like T'Challa actually puts him in a very weird and interesting place, where I think, because we've seen T'Challa handle people that, have mental powers, or, well, not really mental powers, but, where their powers kind of, are the limit of their imagination. He has outthought many opponents, in recent memory. Well, not really recent memory, but I mean, homie had the gauntlet, how he dealt with Namor, how he dealt with, the Skrull invasion. There's many times when people thought they kind of had his number, and he easily outfoxed them. I think this is kind of a slam dunk for T'Challa, and something that starts out looking like an interesting bout ends up being one of those bouts where you're like, oh, T'Challa had him the whole time. kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And not to diss Jon Stewart. I just think that Jon Stewart might be slightly out of his league on this one. Now, you guys might be like, yo, man, you bugging. But I think T'Challa takes this one. It is interesting how he wins. I think he ends up outthinking Jon Stewart, or getting Jon Stewart to use the wrong construct. Yeah, I think that's how we see T'Challa, you know, kind of take him down. You know, maybe tricking Jon Stewart into thinking that, you know, T'Challa isn't as mentally adept as he really is. And I think that's where this one lands. I think we end up with T'Challa. Randy should be ashamed of himself for making us choose between all three of these characters, because all of them are awesome. But you know, I guess you got to do what you got to do, right? You know what I'm saying? What can you do? So when it comes to a situation like this, all I can say is, yeah, I got to go with T'Challa. Easy. I think T'Challa either gets him to use the wrong construct, or gets him to drop his guard. Also, I don't think Jon Stewart really has the killing instinct that I think T'Challa has. I think T'Challa has a killer instinct that people don't really think about and disregard. And they sleep on that. But you know, your boy T'Challa is he's a beast in the paint when he needs to be. There's been many times when he's caught people slipping, and I think this is one of those situations where Jon Stewart just ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? So guys, holla at me. I'ma holla at you down in them comments. Let's talk, of course, the one, the only T'Challa. Can T'Challa, or is T'Challa your pick? Is he the one that, you know, is your pick for all of these? You know, is he the one that comes out on top out of all of these four? For me, yes. You know what I'm saying? I must admit, I don't see any other reason, you know, I just don't see any other reason to pick anyone else. But let me know down in the comments. We'll talk, you know what I'm saying, and see what y'all thinking, if I'm bugging or not. So guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you down in the comments. And until next time, check that exit. Peace.